All right. Hey.
Hey.
We are live. It is Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. on the West Coast and everywhere in between. And this is the Death Row Podcast. I'm DJ Remark. And with me, as always, Mr. Ghost Pirate Entertainment, Mr. Kanan Becker. What's up, buddy?
What up? What's up, man? How was your
Good
week?
to see everyone. Good to see Big Rod. What's going on in the chat? Good to see John. What's up, guys?
Mastermind.
Down Devil. Hey. Wolfbane's here. What's up? Good to see you guys. Diddy's here.
The
What's
usual suspect.
All the usual suspects. That's right. So, not a lot of news to talk about today, but we do have a couple of things to talk about. Sam Raimi movie that's going to be coming out, and I was right from last week, talking about how Hard Eyes was not going to go down against Captain Falcon. In fact, it will stay the course, and I was right. And
you totally twisted what I said.
Okay, we'll see.
Because I did not say that it would happen. I was afraid that it would happen.
I have receipts.
And
you were but even still, to your credit,
Captain America made 90 million, exactly what I predicted it would.
Exactly. You predicted, you made the correct prediction for Captain Falcon,
I was just worried that was going to derail, like that because
we'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We got plenty of show to do. We'll get it. I don't want to tease I'm just teasing here. I don't want to get into
What's
it.
What's up, Diddy?
But good to see you, Citizen Sleeve, Mr. Jim. Good to see you guys. What we were talking about before we went live, that wanted to, bring everybody in on the conversation, which I mean, you guys, the chat might care or not, but some cool news on the Death Rattle side. I am going to be going to the Cannes Film Festival this year over in France. So I have been brushing up on my français so that
you can speak French.
Un peu, which means
that's
a little
to me.
Yeah. I took French in middle school, and it kind of sunk in, and then I had friends that spoke French, and so it kind of stayed with me. I am not fluent. I'm barely conversational, but if I brush up on it, then I can probably get around.
Conversational's damn good.
I can at least ask where the shitter is.
Yeah, French is a tough language,
but it's not that tough. Anyway. But yeah, so I've been kind of brushing up on that. But yeah, Cannes Film Festival. That's where I'm going to be taking the Hellgate and the next film project that we want to do. I'm going to try to schedule a bunch of meetings and get in on the because I'm going for the film market. I don't think there's anything that's screening at Cannes that I really am dying to see.
Yeah, not horror wise. They're not known for They're known for the real artsy, a lot of times the Oscar buzz movies.
Yeah, so I might be able to get into a screening or two, but I'm really going to be going there for the European film market and see if I can't schedule some meetings over a cafe, which is
how long are you staying over there?
I think 4 or 5 days.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I have I managed to find a benefactor who is going to be sponsoring me and the trip, and so we're going to go over there because I'm trying to build Bloodscribe as a production company, and so this is somebody who is interested in helping me to.
Are they going with you?
No, actually, they're sending me all by my lonesome.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, but so it's going to be a journey. So I've been navigating the bureaucracy that is getting a passport, and oh my God, like I was telling you off air, the post office has a 1 hour window on Wednesdays and Thursdays between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. where you can walk in and submit your application, because you have to fill out this whole application online, and then you have to get your birth certificate. You have to get another form of ID, and you have to get your picture taken at Walgreens, and you have to bring the picture.
What other form of ID?
Like a social security card or driver's license or something like that. It's
yeah, I need to get my birth certificate. If I ever end up going out of the country to get to get a passport, I got to get my birth certificate.
Yeah. If I don't go in there between
Oh shit, you cut out. You're cutting out.
I'm cutting out. Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah. But it's like almost sounds like there's a short.
Oh, well, okay. So I found out today that I missed the window and that I could come back tomorrow between 9 and 10 a.m. Or I could schedule an appointment. When I asked to schedule the appointment, they said that the first available date is 3 weeks out.
Sounds like my doctor.
Yeah. But like for a passport, just so that people can go.
So ridiculous.
Okay. Like it's so dumb.
I mean, like that's the big news. A 1 hour window.
Yeah. And I have a so I'm
dumb. You cut out again. You're back.
I'm not seeing a bad connection or anything like that. I don't know why.
It doesn't look like it's a connection because your video looks strong. It sounds like there's a mic, like a cable break. Is what it sounds like.
It might be. If so, I gotta unplug.
Is it loose? Make sure it's plugged all the way in.
No, it's plugged all the way in. I think so.
Sorry. Wiggle the cord and then talk and wiggle the cord.
Blah blah blah. Talk.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's that. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. John says being anti-American while playing Captain America isn't the best message to promote the film. Yeah, no, that's true. And I think Anthony Mackie I think Anthony Mackie realized what he was saying, like in the middle of saying it, because you can hear him kind of.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
He did an interview in Italy where they asked him, "What does Captain America mean to him?" And he was like, "It means all of this stuff, but I don't think it should mean like America." And I don't know what he was thinking about that, but you could tell in the interview as he starts to stammer and
I would probably come off as anti-American if someone. That's why I just generally keep my mouth shut. But like, dude, fuck America. It's a fucking mess right now.
Well,
like,
okay,
this is not like this is not a country that's all like, ooh.
But if you're playing a character called Captain America who is supposed to espouse the best of the country, like Captain America is supposed to be the idealized version of America.
Yeah, but
you don't say. I don't think it should be about America.
What America should stand for and what it does are two different things, though.
Yes, that's why Captain America is the idealized version. Hence
but he was. I mean, I got to hear what he said, but it probably was more of like it stands what America should stand for, like an idealistic thing that isn't just American, but that's freedom, that's freedom of speech and all these different things that are
an idea that
good
is
ideals and ideas.
American.
Yeah, that isn't just American.
Wee says down devil spelled wrong. It's OUI.
And like, if you want to ask me if I'm proud American for the ideals that we should hold up, that we're supposed to have, like, yeah, but like isn't always the case.
The French do have some good horror movies, down devil. Mads, if you guys haven't seen Mads yet, that came out last year, 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. Dude, so many good French horror movies, man.
High Tension. Wolfbane says, forgive me, I watched Hard Eyes the wrong way. However, I was surprisingly entertained. How do you watch Hard Eyes the wrong way? I don't explain that. French cuisine is bloody good. Yeah. Most Western cuisine is based off of is French cuisine.
I'm just curious how you watch Hard Eyes the wrong way, unless you go in it. Well, okay, I get that because I don't know what they meant, but like I know a lot of people will watch the wrong way because they kind of went into it expecting like a straight up horror movie, and the rom-com
the opening scene should dispel that.
No, well, even the trailer,
so obvious. Well, yeah,
and the trailer to me felt obvious that it was going to be like a play on a rom-com, which is what made it unique. It's like if you don't have that element, then it's just basically another, Scream. It's another slasher movie, basic rule. But because they added that element, it felt like almost like a Lifetime Network rom-com.
I thought I
thought that's awesome. I
thought they did a great job. James says in Canada you can get a rush passport in a week, but it costs a few hundred. Yeah, just the book here in the States is $160.
I think it's ridiculous that you can't just do it all online.
I know, right?
Like, what is an actual person gonna?
Why is my passport not on here? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is an actual person gonna do? Well, okay, I understand the physical part having to have a physical passport, because it doesn't matter when you're traveling,
$160.
technology can have issues like, what if your phone breaks or whatever. I understand that,
I
right?
guess.
Having to
I
have
guess.
the physical passport. And
I
then there's
guess.
also hacking issues, things like that. It's the reason, because I was talking to someone about voting when I voted this, past November. I was talking to someone at the poll about why at this point do we not have all digital voting? Like, it's ridiculous. And they were like, yeah, it is, but it's just because depending on where you're at in the country, technology is not at the same standard. Because like if you're in some backwoods wherever, they still need to be able to vote, but they can't handle they don't have the computer or the Wi-Fi connection and all of the technology stuff to make sure that it's not hackable and that it's, and so with the passport, I'm sure there's a lot of the same stuff with that too,
Down Devil's
But
asking business or pleasure.
$150. Why? For a picture?
160. Yeah, because it's arbitrary
Like
and they can, because it's
it's
required by
ridiculous.
law. They could charge
I know, it's ridiculous.
$1,000. It doesn't matter. It's required by law. You have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Down Devil,
God bless America.
Down Devil, I'm going to France for the Cannes Film Festival this year in May. So that's where I'm going. Wolfram says, congrats, DJ. Have fun. Get yourself a French wife while you're there. I would love to find a French wife. That would be great. I'm gonna have to start smoking cigarettes. Yeah, I like that.
Oui.
James says we have dedicated passport offices. Yeah, so do we. But you have to schedule an appointment. There's no walk-ins to those. What's going on, Jamie?
Were those ones that were 3 weeks out as well, or is it just?
Yeah, they're all 3 to 4 weeks out.
That's insane.
James says Captain America isn't about 2020s America. It's about 1940s America. Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's the idealized version of American exceptionalism and freedom, liberty, and you're helping your fellow man. That's what
I don't know if it's about that.
Yes, it is.
I don't really think it's about that.
Yes, it is.
It's about the whole, but what you said about like better than like whatever you just said, that there was a part where it was like we're the best country kind of bullshit.
American exceptionalism.
Yeah, I think that's horseshit, and I don't think that Captain America was. I don't think it's about that.
What do you think American exceptionalism is?
Like that we think we're the best country, better than other countries and shit. And there was that.
No, that's
the day. Like people did walk around saying, this is the best country in the world and blah blah blah. I'm just saying I don't think that that's what Captain America the movie is about.
That's
maybe the old comics and stuff.
So
like
American
the World War.
American exceptionalism is not about like we're the best country. I would argue we are, but that's not what it's about. It's about like it's based on American exceptionalism is based in
about if we are or we aren't. It's about having that attitude of
but that's not what
better than everybody else.
But that's not what American exceptionalism is. American exceptionalism is based on meritocracy, which is that people are chosen and like win based on their merit, like their abilities and their merit and like what they can do. Like, you can go to America. It doesn't matter how you're not born into a class. You're not born into a situation.
The job.
You can go to America and you can work your way to the top if you're good. That's what American exceptionalism is.
Yes, I agree. Then
that's what that is.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I think this new Captain America holds those same principles and things that the other Captain America movies have. And I actually think I wish you had seen it because I think you'll be surprised.
Probably
it's not a great movie. But it's okay. It's good. Dude, Mackie is fantastic in it. Like that is the thing that makes it good.
He's a good actor.
But like besides him, well, it's not just that. The character he's playing, like, is really likable. You really are rooting for this guy.
Yes, the Falcon is a good character. He should not be Captain America. He should be Falcon.
But he delves into that in this movie, which is what I'm talking about, which makes it so interesting because he's like doesn't feel worthy and has to his whole thing is like, I am not Cap. I'm not trying to replace Cap. You can call me Captain America, but I got to make it my own. I got to be my own thing because I cannot live up to those standards. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? And that's why he chooses to not take the serum and be super powered is because like he wants to just pave his own way
and still take punches from the Hulk. That Captain America,
but they explain that
could barely do. Vibranium is not going to protect you from Hulk punches.
No, it doesn't. It's not vibranium.
What is it?
He gets technology from the Wakanda.
My God.
Okay. His whole suit is made by them.
Okay.
And so it's the same way that Black Panther was able to withstand punches and all that. It's the same made suit, basically. Yeah. Black Panther? Do you not remember the stuff that Black Panther was able to withstand?
I don't remember him getting hit by the Hulk. That's
plus, you only saw the trailer. Like, it's not like he doesn't take damage in this movie when he gets hit.
Okay,
and stuff
yes, I've only seen the trailer, but I've also seen plenty of coverage on the film as well.
I'm just saying he does get beat up and just about almost dies from the Hulk. So it's not like he's like just brushing it off.
Mammal Sauce says Hard Eyes felt like an early 2000s.
You cut out.
My God, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
Say that again.
I said Hard Mammal Sauce said Hard Eyes felt like an early 2000s dimension horror, like I Know What You Did, urban legend mixed with a rom-com sitcom. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what they were going for. And that's what I thought was great about it, because it wasn't like trying to be like smarter than the room. Like, it was very self-aware. Like, it knew what it was being. It leaned into the campy nature of it. And if you had tried to take a rom-com and split it with a slasher, and you went with any other tone of slasher, it wouldn't work. Like, I think the only way it works as a slasher is because there's that campiness, there's that early 2000s. It's what we love about movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend, because those movies are shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody's saying I Know
What You Did Last Summer is good. What are you talking about?
But they're still shit. You know what I mean? They're still campy, like they're still dated. Like, the dialogue is bad, dude. The dialogue is super cheesy.
John Connor says, as far as French horror, is that Calvary or Cali there?
It's all relative good. They're relatively good. And they're like, it's all about what you're comparing them to.
Calivari is one of the most, I don't know. I can't read that. Calivare is one of the most disturbing films. The penguin dance scene says it all. Okay, well.
I don't think I've seen that one. That's one of the French extreme. I know Them is amazing. Like, if you haven't seen the French, it's like LLC, but in English it's Them.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
So good.
Citizen Sleep says watch Companion yesterday. Decent film.
I argue the best home invasion movie ever made.
Is that one that you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. It's what they basically ripped it off when they made The Strangers.
Oh,
kind of. I mean, it's a little different because the main core of what happens ultimately in does make it a different. But a lot of what they were doing it feels very much like they took that and were like, we're going to make an American kind of version of this.
Well, that happens a lot.
Yeah, especially back then.
Citizen says, watch Companion yesterday. Decent film, but pissed off the marketing spoiled the damn thing like Abigail. Oh my God.
Yep.
Excuse me. Like
everybody was. Everybody was.
Well, good, because I haven't seen any marketing for Companion and I got to watch it. So I'm not going to.
You haven't watched it? You're lucky you don't know then.
I know. Jesus. Yeah, I know. I've managed to avoid all of it. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch it.
You know what sucks? What sucks is because the marketing spoiled a big chunk of. Okay, here's the thing. Even if you've seen it, I argue that there's still a lot that it doesn't spoil, and it's still a damn good movie that you would enjoy even if you've seen the trailers. But it sucks because the word got out pretty quickly that the marketing spoiled a lot of the movie. And I think that had a big part on why not enough people went and supported that movie. It's already going to streaming, dude.
Ah, it sucks.
Yeah,
well, I will get to it because I'm going to see The Monkey tomorrow, and I was going to watch Companion after that. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to miss all of the marketing.
It might be the last weekend it's even in theaters, actually.
I think I can make it.
Double check, make sure it's still playing tomorrow. Because
all right,
I don't know when, depending on the theater, but I know that it's going streaming.
It should still be in there. Vorpal says, greetings. What's going on, Vorpal? Joe Bet, what's going on? Good to see you.
Something about the name Vorpal and then using greetings together. Just felt very like an alien, like, greetings, I am name is Vorpal. You know what I mean? Like,
he's going to see Nosferatu tonight for the first time. Enjoy, buddy.
It's still in theaters near you? I thought it was out. That's awesome. I'm glad it's still in theaters.
What's going on, Jay?
Hey, it's so cool to me how much money that movie's made. Like, it's just awesome.
Vorpal 100% believes in American exceptionalism. Good.
Well, yeah, now that DJ explained what that means, like, I'm with that too.
What's going on?
I thought it was because there was this big thing back in like the, after World War II, and we needed that as a country. Like, it was important for us to have that national pride and like walk around with our chest out like we're the best country in the world. We needed that for our economy. We needed that for a lot of reasons. But I have and take big issue with people that still rock around like that nowadays.
What's up, Rodney?
Like, we're the best country, like this whole arrogant bullshit. Because, like,
here's
fuck
the thing.
you, dude. Like,
there's no other country I'd rather live in. There is no other country in the world.
I wouldn't either, but I'm just saying, like, we cannot have that attitude, because we as a country need to be better. We need to get better. There's a lot of things that we're falling apart at. And so, like, acting like we're better than everybody does nobody any good.
I mean,
it doesn't.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Name one category that we're actually the best at anymore.
I'm that guy who like talks shit about America, but like if somebody else does, we're fighting. Like, I'm that guy where it's like, I can talk shit about my country, but you can't. Which, I mean,
I'm a realist, and I don't have this.
Oh, like, shut the fuck up! I'm a realist. I am. Hate that. What does that mean?
But I am with that. If
what are you a realist about? What is real?
Well, like, if someone says "fuck America" and then they back that up with saying our education is crap right now, I'm not going to get mad at them for saying "fuck America."
Yeah, but then why?
Our education is shit right now.
What that should be is fuck the system in place that made our education so bad, which is the
Department that's all I'm talking about in general. That's all I'm talking about in general.
That doesn't have anything to do with the country. That just has to do with shitty bureaucrats.
Our country, our government, our bureaucrats, all this stuff right now is a major problem in our country. So that's why I'm like okay with someone being like, it's
if you don't live here, like if you don't live here though, like that whole hockey game that happened, right? The Canadians are booing the American national anthem, then get their ass kicked on the ice and lose the game.
But that's what they're supposed to do, though.
You're not supposed to. Come on.
No. For that, it's fun. Like, it's literally all hockey. Like, all these guys play in the same league.
Fight. I know.
So they're just doing this as a, like, that's the fun of it, right? You want to root on your country and boo the other country. Like, that's fun.
Yeah, but
I think that was all in fun. I don't think because Canadians love America. So I think that was more than anything. It was just for fun.
James says I liked Companion. The only problem is
I know a lot of Canadians, man. Like, they love America. I know. French Canada, not so much.
Yeah, Quebec. Quebec.
But most of Canada loves America. Most of Canada basically is America. I mean, right between us and Alaska.
Says, I would super chat this, but I ain't got no money. That's okay, buddy. Got it the past 2 weeks. Coffee Table, not horror, by the way. Hard Eyes Villains.
There's nothing more horrific than what happens in Coffee Table. Are you kidding me? Like, the whole movie is like, it's more of a tension-based, dread-filled kind of thriller-ish kind of thing, but the core central thing that goes down in the middle of that movie is literally the most horrific thing you can possibly think of. So
there you go.
You're on track.
There you go, Wolfbane. What's going on, Heather? Good to see you. Mr. Halloween, what's going on? Good to see you.
I'm sorry, Wolfbane. I just always get irritated when people say something like, I hate the gatekeeping thing. When someone says this is not horror, like, I hate that. Like, because horror is so wide and so broad, and there's so many things that fit under the umbrella of what is horror.
James,
like, when someone says that's not horror, that's like them saying, well, in my opinion, like, I only have this small little visual or the small little purview of what is horror, and you're isolating, or you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're like isolating into everybody else. You're like,
without spoiling it, Wolf, why is it not horror? Without spoiling, anything, make an argument for why it's not.
I don't think
we'll
you can. I don't know if you can without spoiling
it. James says Canada has free evil communist healthcare. Free is a stretch. They still get taxed. They still get taxed in Canada.
Yeah,
and Canada will encourage you to kill yourself before sending you to a hospital. So let's
do it. A ton of the Canadians are not happy with their healthcare. So Leslie, like their government's got issues just like ours.
Leslie likes America. She says she's traveled all over the world, touched every continent. No place I'd rather live ever. Matt Hicks watched Hard Eyes twice.
I haven't been other places, but I still wouldn't rather. This is my home. But that's not at all what I was talking about. Like, it has nothing to do with it being a great country full of great people. It has to do with that our country has got issues and needs to be working on these issues and not acting like we're better than anybody. It's like the whole biblical thing of
dude, I know what
pick out don't point out the flake of wood in the other guy's eye when you have a log in your eye. Like, that's all I'm talking about.
I know what look, man. Like I said, I know what you're saying. I can, the country has problems, but like, it rubs me the wrong way when somebody in another country is like shit talking, and it's like, okay, guys.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, shut up.
But that's just rude. That's like, I don't care. It's the same as if I were to go to like any other country. I'm not going to talk shit about your country. Like, that's just not okay.
Matt says, watch.
Like, if I go to Uganda, of course I'd rather live here than Uganda. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to be sitting there being like, or you Mexico. Might not get out. I've been to Mexico a bunch of my life. You don't see me going down to Mexico and be like, fuck you, Mexico. Your country sucks. You're this poor guy who lives there. It's like, that's just not cool.
Matt says, I watched Dark Match on Kanan's recommendation. It was silly, low budget fun. Had a good time.
Exactly. That's why I tried to convey. So hopefully everybody realized that in my man. So we didn't get to my week of the shit.
Let me finish up these chats. Let me finish up these chats and we'll get to your week. Okay. We'll do that. R30 says, new to the channel. Really enjoy. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Joe Bet says coffee tables on her Tubi list.
Yep, it's on Tubi.
Thoughts on The Gorge? I still haven't seen it. I've had
me either
to watch The Gorge. I know. We're gonna watch it with it. That's what we should do. We should watch The Gorge, talk about it, because I've had.
We're both watching The Monkey tomorrow too. So
so many movies. Oh, and I posted my review of Wicked City on my on the.
I know, and I still didn't watch it. I forgot.
It's okay. Nobody fucking watched it. No, it's the lowest performing video that I've ever posted, other than Abigail. Is Wicked City?
You're talking about a fucking 30-year-old movie, dude.
I know,
40-year-old
popular 30-year-old.
Doesn't matter. Movie. It doesn't matter. It's how it works.
It's an anime. There's weebs all over YouTube.
But it's not the people. It's the algorithm.
Wow. Anyway,
you and every other new YouTuber doesn't realize, like, it doesn't matter about the people. If they don't see it, they can't watch it. And the algorithm is only going to push things that it thinks is relevant. You got to learn to work with it, not against it.
All right.
So like you could do a movie like that, but you got to figure out a way to make it seem contemporary and now.
But they don't go bankrupt if they get sick. You need to talk to more Canadians. Yeah, I don't need to talk to more Canadians. I just need to read studies and see what their actual healthcare plan is. Like I said, they will encourage you to kill yourself.
Dude, they are not,
before going to the hospital.
I don't know a single Canadian that's for their healthcare. Like, their healthcare is a mess. It's just as bad as ours. It's maybe for different reasons, but it's just as messed up as ours. So I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
and I don't say they're it's fine, but none of the people that live there, like everybody I know that lives in Canada, is like, I gotta wait a month for an appointment. Like everything, 6 months for a dentist appointment. It's like, oh great,
you won't go bankrupt, or you'll fucking die.
Exactly.
Your wound will become gangrenous. Yeah. But hey.
That's not any better.
Still get to keep your loonies and toonies.
Yeah. Like, I just think that the whole reality is somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have more affordable healthcare, but you can't just be straight up free either, because you're going to get what you pay for.
Wolf says it was a horrific situation, but not a true blue horror movie in my opinion. Well, Wolf, what is a horror movie? Define horror. And we'll read it. Because we've defined horror quite a bit on this channel.
The thing is, you're gonna say, like, you have a very narrow vision of what is horror, and like, I have to have a much more wide. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. Like, if I didn't run this channel and didn't like talk about horror and recommend horror daily, I would have a much more narrow view of what horror is too. But because of who I am and what I do or whatever, like I've learned to, and I have to have I have to be able to see what horror is for everybody, because you'll have people on this side who think Jurassic Park is horror and Black Swan is horror. Okay. And I'm not gonna, what's the word? I'm not gonna, it's not isolate. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not gonna, like ban those people or discount their opinion of what horror is. And just like there's on this hand, you have a bunch of people that think only French extreme is real horror. Or you have other people who think giallo is horror. Like I don't really personally feel like it's horror, but I'm going to still consider it horror because there's a wide amount of people that consider giallo horror, even though to me it's much more like they're almost all just like crime thrillers. Like they don't feel horror at all. They feel less horror than Silence of the Lambs, which I personally feel is barely horror, but I still count all of them. So that's why I may have a different view and say that it's definitely horror.
Discredit.
But it's because I have this big umbrella that I have to upkeep of that. This is what horror is. It is inclusive, not what's the opposite? It's inclusive, not reclusive. What's the opposite of inclusive?
Exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So we got through the chats. We'll get back to them. Everybody wants to talk about healthcare.
Yeah, that's not. We need it. This is our fault. We need to stop politics. You started this shit last week. We need to not do politics anymore. Thanks, Captain America.
Listen, it's anybody wants to start talking about Canadian healthcare versus American healthcare.
The flow.
I'm just gonna play this song.
America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better.
All right.
No, we're not going down that road.
All right. Where were your week? Let's talk about your week.
Yeah.
Where are you off the rails?
So I'm proud of myself. I actually made myself dinner last night from scratch. I made spaghetti and
spaghetti. Did you make meat sauce?
Of this like cornbread stuff. Yeah. Dude, I was watching Cooking with Babish. I don't know if you've ever seen it. The YouTube channel is like a huge YouTube channel. And he was doing a ranking tier list of spaghetti sauce. And the top one was Carmine's. And I know that that's a super famous Italian restaurant, one of the most famous in the United States, and it's in New York. And so I was at the grocery store and I'm like, oh shit, dude, they actually sell Carmine. So I got it. I'm like, damn, dude, it's like expensive. It's like $12 for a jar. Jeez. That's like normally like same size as like a $4 Prego. And I like Prego. And I don't know if it's $12 better than Prego, but it's really good, man. So yeah, then I made meat sauce. I was gonna make meatballs, but I was like, man, it's just for me. I'm not gonna
you gotta put meatballs in it, man. Meatballs are
I used
so easy to make.
Well, yeah, but it's not about like how hard it is.
I love dicing up an onion and putting in the ground beef and put some oil in there and getting that.
Yeah, I did that. I chopped up some garlic. I diced up some onions. I put all that
fresh garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Nice, man. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. So it's good. I used to cook all the time. It's just for myself. I'm like, why? It just makes extra dishes. It's just me.
Well, it's healthier for you.
Yeah, I was feeling. Yeah, but that's not a healthy. Although I did.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's very high in sugar and calories and carbs,
bro.
So, but it's okay. It's better than eating McDonald's or fast food or whatever. So,
yes.
But it was also cool because then I have leftovers for a couple meals. But
I was
proud of myself for doing that. It was fun.
I made chicken and broccoli tonight. Super nice. Simple. Just a nice chicken cutlet, broccoli, garlic and onion powder, a little bit of salt, butter. Delicious.
What are you eating with it? Just that?
Yeah, just chicken and broccoli.
Like no bread, no potatoes, no.
No, because I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
So I'm trying.
Well,
I'm trying
that's
to
good, but I just feel like
high
I'd be
protein, low
hungry.
carb. So lots
Yeah,
of
but I
vegetables.
just feel like that won't stick with you that long.
What do you mean? Well, I'm working out too. Like I go to the gym every day.
Yeah. Even more, I don't see how that's going to stick to you for very long.
What do you mean stick
Because
to
your
me? I don't know.
dinner,
What does that mean?
like, stay full.
No, I'm not gonna stay
I feel like
full.
I'll burn that off super fast.
Yeah, but not fast enough before I go to bed. You're not supposed to eat after. Like you're not supposed to eat 3 hours before you go to bed.
Exactly.
Like one of those things. Yeah. So
like I feel like by the time I'm ready for bed, I'm gonna have growling stomach waking me up if all I'm eating is chicken and broccoli.
nah.
Well, I guess
all right.
broccoli will make you have farts. So that would
Abby,
be more of the thing.
what's
I
up,
didn't
Abby?
know what I was.
First time. I think this is the first time you've commented. She says, "I have a
Still
very
didn't
deep
get to my thing I wanted to vent on.
Oh, well, okay. Well, let me read this because
Yeah,
I
read
have it
this.
up and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Abby says, I have a very deep-seated fear of heights, and there was a movie that I literally could not finish watching about a daredevil urban tightrope walker. It's not horror to most, but to me, it's terrifying.
Well, that's actually based on a true story, and that guy ended up dying a couple years after they made that movie. I forget his name, but there's actually a documentary was made after he died.
So even though you're afraid of heights and there's a movie that deals with heights, I still wouldn't consider that like a horror movie, even though it scares you, because a horror movie has to, because fear was probably not one of the central themes of that movie, right?
Like, well, and even if it is, I don't think a horror movie has to even have something scary in it, because there's a lot of movies that are scary for one individual, but that are not.
Yeah, but fear has to be a central theme or plot device, or it's like that has something to do with it in order to be a horror movie. Like I think that's the one thing.
Because there's a lot of movies that are based on dread and like atmosphere and all that.
Okay, those are all
they're not
dread
scary.
is another word for fear. Dread's another word for fear. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
so I know, we talked about this before. It has to be in the fear camp.
Yeah, just so long as
it has
fear
to be in the stratosphere.
is the central emotion. That's it. Okay. All right. Get to the thing you wanted to rant about, because we're 40 minutes in. We got stuff to talk about.
I had so many people okay, I did an ad read. Where did you go?
I'm here. I'm just I'm giving you the stage.
No, you need to stay looking at.
Okay.
Dude, so I did an ad read in this most recent video for an adult product. It's these adult dolls, these.
Hey.
Yeah. And
they give you
I don't see anything wrong with it. No. They're like $700 a piece, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, these are not like blow up dolls. Like these are they're just torsos though. They're not not the full, But I'm like, I personally wouldn't necessarily use it. It's not my cup of tea.
For $700, shit.
Well, I mean, but my whole thing is I'm very not judgmental. I'm very open.
Go downtown Jacksonville with $300 and do okay. Hey yo, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but these are really well made. They're food grade materials and you know what I mean. I don't know if their base cheapest model is 700. I didn't look that deeply into the prices because I'm not gonna buy one.
All right, anyway, you're doing an ad read.
Well, yeah, because my big thing is this, right? Women run around proudly flaunting that they have toys. I have not known an adult woman in years, really, except, there's a couple, of course, but for the most part, most women are proudly running around with their whatever devices, you know what I mean? Their toys. But men are so afraid to ever admit that we would have some kind of something to help us, or whatever, whatever it is, a pocket pussy, if one of the fleshlights, whatever it is, right? Men never talk about it to each other, and they're would never mention it to another woman. And I think that there's a big problem with that, that stereotype, that taboo. And so that was why I did it, not because it's a product that I would necessarily personally use, but I'm there is nothing wrong with an adult man if he chooses to buy that kind of thing, like you're
Yeah.
not hurting
Well,
anyone.
think
I
about
would
it.
much
Yeah,
rather that than
No.
like, how are you gonna like, that or go get a prostitute or you know what I
Here's the
mean?
thing. Yeah,
It's like,
like here's the thing. The argument can be made, especially with nowadays,
yeah,
that $700 just to nut is like probably like one time is probably cheaper than finding a girl, talking, having a, talk, take her out, spend all this money multiple times, unless, she's into first night,
but then you're
and
also
then,
a piece of
and then
shit,
you're
like too, because
risking,
if you're just getting with a girl to nut, like that makes you a piece of shit as well.
I don't agree with that.
If
Women
you're
do that with
literally
men all
doing
the
all that to just
People
simply
do
have
that.
sex with a girl,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I do, but I'm saying people do that all the time, that they just want to go
yeah, and
out. And
and I think you're kind of a piece of shit.
all right, well,
You're
regardless, what
just
I'm trying to
like,
say
I would
is,
rather you. All
what
I'm
I'm
saying is,
trying to,
I would rather you just use a doll than take advantage of some poor drunk chick at a bar.
what I'm trying to say is, the argument can be made that if this is the thing that you're just trying to satisfy, which, everybody has needs, it's way easier and probably more affordable than going out and finding a woman, because also you don't got to deal with anything she might be carrying around or knocking her up.
The thing is
So,
this.
like,
The thing is this. My whole
the argument can be
the way I did the ad read, because like I have friends that have done the sponsor as well. I'm not going to mention who because it's not my, I'm not trying to drag them into this. But other YouTubers I am friends with have done ads or done reads for them as well. So they're a reputable company and like all that. So, I did my homework going in, so I knew I wasn't getting ripped off, and they're not a scam. They have good products, like all of that, right? Well, I did the read in the way of like, I wanted to treat it the way people do the BetterHelp reads, where, we all like, we're dealing with a lot mental, like, well, no. We're dealing with a lot. Everybody's dealing with a lot of stress and a lot of this and that. And it's like physical health and mental health is super important, and people need to treat it that way. And like, so my thought was, if this helps your mental and physical wellness, you know what I mean? It's the way if I'm dating a girl and she needs to have like, her vibrator in the side drawer or whatever, that's how I see that. Like, I never understand guys that get all insulted when their girls have whatever. I'm like, dude, if that helps you, like helps, whatever you need, man, it's the way, and I'm not telling anybody they need this or should go get this. It's just like porn, right? I'm not saying everybody should watch porn, but if you choose to watch porn, like, I'm not going to judge you for it either. It's the same kind of thing. Like, and man,
especially with good porn, like Pirates. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember back in the day, dude.
I genuinely enjoyed that. Dude, I genuinely enjoyed that. It's
like one of the only like expensively made, well polished.
It's like the most expensive. This is like $2 million.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Good
like, costumes, like everything.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I remember seeing it
movie. Like,
oh man,
I remember renting it, I think, on pay-per-view back when it came out, because it was like such a big deal, because it was like the most expensive porn ever. And I was like in my 20s. Anyway,
if you guys in the chat, if you haven't seen Pirates, you need to do it.
You can find it on the internet free.
Yeah, you need to find
it.
It
came out in like the early 2000s. But anyway, my whole point I was going to do is, I got so much hate. I got fucking someone, I'm not going to say their name, I ended up having to block them, but went on a tirade, dude, on my messenger, like just saying all kinds of stuff, saying I degraded the brand of Ghost Pirate and like all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand people that get so insulted. And but it's just like when I did that tarot, when I did the ad for tarot readings, same kind of thing. I thought that was innocuous. I'm like, I'm not saying to do this. I'm just telling you there is this product out there, and like tarot reading. I'm not saying I believe that stuff at all. Like, I didn't say in the ad, I believe in tarot readings and that it's real. And no, it's a commercial. Like, that's all ad reads are. I'm just letting you know about this product, this brand. It's up to you if you choose to take the discount code I'm offering. And
I'm wondering. I'm
it.
wondering if that person that started talking shit and said that you were degrading the brand of Ghost Pirate, I'm wondering if he's willing to pay your rent that month.
I know, no shit.
You know what I mean? Like, I
like,
just like go fuck yourself, man. If
but
I take on a bad read, like, this is my gig. Like, are you buying my groceries? Like,
and this is the thing. You can't buy me. Like, I don't care how much money I'm offered. I won't do something if it goes against my beliefs or principles or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the biggest one for me is scam. Like, I don't care how much money you give me. I've turned down a bunch of sponsors over the last year because you get, for every quality, real, legit, sponsor, there's a dozen that are just basically scam products. Like, a lot of them are this AI, like, dude, I'm getting so many of them, like these AI bullshit apps. Like, there's tons of them. Or these bullshit games that are just, scam games. Like, you get tons and tons and tons of them, and they'll pay you well. They'll pay you better than a lot of these legit ones. It's like when I did Raycon, that was my least, like, they paid me jack shit. Raycon paid me way less than a lot of the other ones, but it was like, I believe in the product. I know Raycon is a good brand, and I also, with Raycon, told them they had to send me the earbuds, and before I would do anything, they had to send me a pair to try them out and all that. The difference is with this doll, I'm not telling them to send me the product, but I also don't say anything in the ad about me, like, I use this, I believe in this, you know what I mean? I'm not, like, I literally just tell you what it is, and that I have a discount code if it's something you want to go look into. So, like, that's the big difference. Whereas with Raycon, I was like, I've had them in my ears. I'm like, I genuinely believe in this product. So even though they paid me bottom of the barrel, I really believed in that product. But no matter what, I'm not going to do an ad for something that is going to rip people off or that's going to take advantage of people, because that is my biggest one. But, like, I don't know, man. I knew that I would get some hate, but I thought I would get hate from people that are kind of the more religious kind of thing. I thought maybe I'd get some from those kind of people. But also, it's like, I had one comment today that it was nice. Someone kind of defending me, where they were like, you run a horror channel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is an adult kind of channel.
Right. We're on the extreme end of entertainment here.
Yeah. And I also, in my ad, didn't show the product like in a lewd way. I only showed basically from here to here, and it was in a bikini, so you didn't see anything. You're just simply seeing, like, the skin of the stomach area. And, like, I didn't say anything derogatory in the ad, because even though I do have an adult channel, if you're a teenager or a kid or whatever, I try to, like, I don't even swear much in my videos, because it's like, I know I have a lot of people that watch this, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody. That's the whole thing. And that's, I don't know. Anyway, I just
that
sucks. That because it's kind of ridiculous.
Well, that makes me feel bad about, I had this whole segment planned out about me dunking on you about Hard Eyes' second weekend, and now I feel bad.
You totally twisted what I said about Hard Eyes.
I didn't. I have the receipts. I'm going to do it. We're doing it. All right. So last week we talked about Hard Eyes, and you were worried because you said that you thought that Captain Falcon was going to
dominate the theaters, which it did. It made 90 million. That's dominating the theaters.
That's okay. Fine.
All right, let me just hear what I said.
Perspective, but here's us talking about it. Okay, here's us talking about it. And chat, let me know if you can hear this, because I'm not sure how this works playing a window.
I can't hear it. I think it's only playing through your thing. It's super quiet.
Maybe 2 million this weekend. Like, it'll really make anything, because it's.
Why is it so quiet? There we go.
Is it quiet?
It seemed like it was turning up. Like, were you turning it up?
I could turn it up more.
No. By the end, it sounded like it was loud enough. Here, play it again.
All right.
because of Captain America's this
Oh,
week.
nobody's going to see fucking Captain Falcon.
Yeah, that's good.
Nobody's-
Rewind it. Start over. Okay, right there. What you just said is no question, absolutely wrong. Because just because comparatively for Marvel, 90 million isn't a huge opening for Marvel.
That's why
90
I'm right.
million is still everybody going to see a movie.
No, it's not. Because you have to look at it. You have to look at it
the
through.
receipts.
You have to look at it. You have to look at it.
The highest
You have to
grossing this
look at
year.
it through Marvel and Disney numbers. That
No,
perspective.
you don't.
90
You gotta
million
look at
for
it.
a Marvel
No.
movie. That was less than Ant-Man Quantum Mania.
Yes, but it's
This-
still the highest grossing movie this year.
Fucking tanked. Just because it's going up
No,
against, and
it-
this is why it matters. This is why it
tanked for
matters.
Marvel, but that doesn't mean it actually tanked. It still made way more
It
than
does.
anything
Yes, it
else.
does. If it tanks, you have a movie that has a $400 million budget that does 90 million its opening weekend. This thing is not going to make budget. It's going to bomb because when the second weekend numbers come
But that's not what
going to
that's
tank.
not what I was saying.
Hard Eye.
No.
What
I'm
you
only
were saying
talking
was
about
that-
in reference to what I'm saying here.
I know.
90
So let me
million
play the video.
is the vast majority of people that are going to go to a movie this weekend. If it makes 90 million, that means most everybody went to that movie.
People are saying that the volume's too
It
low.
doesn't
and
matter that it doesn't. It is still. It's lower than me and you are right now.
Oh, okay, hang on. Let me try to fix this. Okay, yeah. So I wonder if I can. Hang on.
Because I think we're both right about what we're trying to say here. I think you're just misunderstanding what I'm trying to say here.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying it was going to be successful movie for Marvel. I'm just saying if a movie makes 90 million, I don't care how much money they
Will you
spend
just
to
let me
promote
play?
it.
You just let me play the video.
All right, fine.
All right, and tell me if the volume is better on this.
It
thing.
made almost 9 million, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
it made almost
it's-
9 million, but that's great.
Rewind
right?
it,
But it's going to
rewind
go
it.
down to like,
I played it from the beginning.
all right, start over.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry, folks. All right, ready? This is from the beginning. I mean, what you're saying, yeah, you shouldn't be pirating.
It made
these
almost
movies.
9 million, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
it made almost 9 million, but that's great, right? But it's going to go down to like 1 million, maybe 2 million this weekend. Like, it'll barely make anything because as soon
You think
as
it's going to take that big of a dip?
yeah, because of Marvel, because of Captain America's this
Oh, nobody's going to see fucking Captain
bullshit.
Falcon.
Nobody's. Dude, it's already.
Okay, so I don't have to play the whole thing, but because you go on to explain, because the rest of the video is he goes on to explain that they're going to remove Hard Eyes from some theaters to make room for Captain Falcon, which makes sense.
They did,
which they did, and it makes sense.
Make 90 million, like I said, it was projected. What I was wrong on, and I'm glad to be wrong, is that I thought that Hard Eyes, because of that, was going to take a dip. The
Look at
fact
this.
it made as much.
It
is
made a
awesome.
58%, like it made double. It made more in its second weekend than it did in its first weekend.
Yeah.
Look at
but
this. I have not seen a movie
but
do
the-
this. I have not
the
seen a
thing
movie
I
do
didn't, the thing I didn't take into consideration was the fact that it's a Valentine's Day movie. But I could have never predicted this. You weren't predicting this.
I didn't think it was gonna take a hit. I thought it was gonna do fine. I thought it was, if
Dude,
anything,
no
I thought it was gonna,
movies.
if anything, I
The
thought it
thing
was gonna
is-
follow its projections right here. This is what I thought it was. I didn't think
Yeah,
it was gonna
but
do this.
projections is like 4 or 5 million.
Right, and that still would have been good. You said in the video, you said you
I
think
thought it was
it's
going to
gonna
go
make
down to
a
like 2
million.
million.
One.
Or 2, yeah.
You said one.
I said 1 million or 2.
All right. Well, whatever.
I
Fine.
just said that.
We'll split the difference. $1.5 million.
Yeah, because
it
I was
made
worried. Because I was
double.
worried. Because, dude, I worked at a theater, managing a theater.
So
Like,
did
I
I.
know
So
how
what?
this works. When you watch a movie, a Marvel movie come out, it doesn't matter if it does well as far as Marvel standards go. It's still, you can only have so many people going to the movies over that weekend. And whenever you have a Marvel movie, it generally just anything else that comes out around it basically takes a nosedive, at least for that weekend, because they promote the shit out of it. They spend tons of money to promote it. Like I said, it's going to make 90 million. And what I'm surprised at is the fact that there was enough room in the, like, to me, the biggest thing I take away from this is that people are starting to go back to the theater this year.
Yes.
Because in the past couple years, when a Marvel movie came out, nothing is making anything around it.
Yeah.
You know, and this week, and there was not, because it's not just Hard Eyes. A couple other movies still made a little bit this weekend as well.
Oh,
so it wasn't
what was
just
it, Paddington Bear or something like that.
Paddington made, what did it make? It was like number million. 2, right? Yeah.
Well, that's its total. What did it make? Hang on, I'm trying to.
Which I don't know what they were thinking. Like,
this is
people that put out Paddington are stupid as fuck. Like, why would you put it out against a Marvel movie? Because apparently Paddington is like, animated movies make a shitload of money. Like, I'm surprised. I could feel like they had released it a week later, like this weekend or next weekend, it would have made way more money.
It's also outperforming its projections. So I don't know how stupid they are.
Yeah, but that's because it was going up against Marvel.
Outperforming your projections going up against Marvel is counter to your argument.
No, because your projections are based on knowing that it's coming out against a Marvel movie.
Right. So if it outperforms, that means
two things are true here. One, that Captain America didn't do as good. Actually, I'm curious, because Captain America did do exactly what everybody thought it was going to, right?
Underperformed.
What was its projections? I don't think it underperformed. What was the projections? Because I heard 90 million.
According to the numbers, it's within its projections.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest thing that's true here is the fact that it all happened.
It's going to be down here this weekend.
People are going to see movies again in theaters, is what it says more than anything. Because I would be with you if Captain America made less than projections, but it didn't. Like, even if you think the movie's shit or whatever, like, it still made a lot of money. It still did just fine, you know.
I think that's relative. I think if you make,
if you're looking at it
in a vacuum,
to not do great.
If you're looking at it in a vacuum and all money is equal, and all movies were made with the same amount of money, yes, 90 million looks good. But when you
look how much you made worldwide,
198 million. They spent 400 million on this movie to produce.
Yeah.
That
it's
means
going to make its money back.
That means at minimum, brother, if your production budget is $400 million, that means your marketing budget is at least 200 million. So now you're looking at $600 million. You need to make
1.2 billion to break even.
Right. This movie is not doing that.
I think it will. I think it will worldwide. Because I think Marvel or Disney is more like, they're more thinking about the world market now than ever before. And like, I don't think this movie is going to take that huge of a drop off. Maybe here, but I don't think it's going to make that big. I don't think it's going to take that big of a nosedive worldwide.
Your best rating, since you saw it and I didn't, your best rating of Captain Falcon is what?
Like a 6 out of 10.
That's not good enough to make $1 billion.
No,
Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion because everybody, even me, who I didn't think it was a good movie, I still talked about it and told people to go see it because I thought it was. Because
I don't think
it did exactly what I thought it was going to do.
I'm not saying I think this movie is going to do 1.2 billion in theaters, but I think it's going to make its budget back and make some money. Like, once it goes to streaming and everything. And like, I think that's more than ever before how Disney looks at it. Disney from everything I have heard,
500,000 subscribers in the last, like, what is it? 2 months, like
Disney has been hemorrhaging. But I'm saying, from everything I have heard, all they're hoping for with this one is to break even. Because this had a lot of bad. I think it will. I think when everything is all said and done, like when it's streaming and everything is all, I think it'll end up breaking even. It's not going to make a bunch of money, but I don't think that they ever thought it would. Because no matter what, dude, they spent so much on reshoots for this movie. Like, they're just praying to God to break even with it. It's because this is a movie that was doomed to be like a big loss.
And
so
it's
like,
going to be.
I don't
It's
think
not
it
going to
will
break
be.
even on streaming. This is not going to make its money back. And even if it does make money, it's not going to make the amount of money that the type of people that the investors and the board at Disney are going to accept.
No,
right?
because they're pushing all their chips in on Fantastic Four.
Well, because James says chat crickets. Yeah, nobody cares. Sorry, we're talking about what is this, Insider
But
Baseball?
this isn't Marvel. Yeah, this is about
We're
theaters
talking
and
about Hard Eyes. Like that's where we really
Yeah.
are. Like we're just not
because
agreeing.
no matter what Hard Eyes did is like unprecedented.
It's
like
great.
kind of on the level of what Terrifier did
Yeah.
like this past year, because we just don't see, it's not just for horror, but we don't see indie movies do this, period. Like indie movies do not, like, it's just no movies do this, to be honest. Like go and then their second week make as much or more than the first week. Like that does not happen. I think the last time that happened was with Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it was like every week it just kept going up and everybody's like, what is going on? Like this movie's not only like treading water, but it's going up every week. It's because like that was a movie, and Hard Eyes is kind of the same thing. It's been promoted a little bit more, but Hard Eyes isn't an indie movie though, right? It's because it's Spyglass.
Yeah, it's not necessarily indie, but it's a $20 million budget.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
perfect.
It's one of
that is where horror needs to live, is between 5 and 20 million. Like
I think movies, period, need to live there.
I agree. That's where movies need to
all
live.
movies, all movies should be between like 20 and 60 million. Like that, like you could have some a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but for the most part, that should be the sweet spot, 20 to 60. And like we have way too many movies now that are like, I mean, this whole stuff of 200, 300 million is just insanity.
It's
like, seriously, it has literally reached its snapping point in everybody in the industry. It's why we keep talking about how the movie industry is changing dramatically right now. It's because everybody on the boards of all these companies is like smashing their fist on the table, being like, why are we spending 250 million on movies that are not even making that back, much less making money?
Yeah.
So I think Fantastic Four is like, I think we're going to see Marvel just like go belly up if that movie doesn't do okay.
I would agree.
Because I would
agree.
I think they were this is what I think they were kind of expecting this movie, to not do great. So if it breaks even or around breaking even, I think they'll be happy, because at least they didn't have to do what like DC did, where they're deleting movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just shelving movies.
Yeah. So it's like if they could just tread water with this one, because they believe that the next phase is going to have, some good movies in a row. And if they're right, then cool. And it's what I keep saying. I feel like this is the beginning of things shifting for Marvel. And I think you can see that in this movie, because like there is some real good here. You can see a movie that had multiple reshoots. You could definitely see it held together with duct tape in spots. But like you can also see, I think, glimmers of what made Marvel movies great for a long time. Like there is some good characters here. There's some good story, some good things that they are dealing with and talking about. Where it has problems is it's trying to like tie together so many different things. Like it has the crap from the Immortals is trying to tie in. It's crap
Eternal.
from Incredible from back 10 years ago or whatever, trying to connect that in. And it's like got too many things. It's trying to like, how can we bring all these stories together so that we can finally move forward? And I think that's its biggest fault. It's like has too many things. It has to try to, all these series, like too many things is trying to make all connect so that people can go, okay, with this fresh start, like this movie is kind of laying down all the rules to remind everybody like, hey, so for the next 3 or 4 movies, you only have to pay attention to this one and not, all these series, all these movies, all these things to know what the hell's going on. And I think that also makes it hard to do as a movie. Like, how are you going to have all these things tie in,
They did it in Civil War. They did it in Infinity War. They did
but they didn't have as much
the
crap
Avengers
to try to like from movies that were not good,
They had a
that
lot,
they know
and then they
people are
also
not going to go back and see.
well,
No,
no,
the
that's
difference
true,
was
but,
everybody was watching those movies. Like
Wendy says hi.
they have a couple series that nobody wants to watch, and a couple movies that are a long time ago. I mean, Incredible Hulk, dude.
Yeah,
Like, how long ago did
2008.
that come out? Yeah, like that's a tough one to try to, and so they had to because the only other alternative is to just be like, none of that stuff's canon, and you can't really do that either. And so the best bet is to like make one movie that kind of takes the
Here's a
fall
theory.
to be like to tie everything together and now move forward. Because they're really trying to, because what's happening. They're doing the multiverse thing, and they've been wanting to do this for a long time, but it's like in order to move forward and finally do that stuff, you got to tie up some of this shitty done loose ends that they've have from
It's honestly the multiverse thing is just more proof about Marvel and Kevin Feige and everybody up there just not listening and not paying attention to the fans of this stuff, because even in the comic books, comic book fans did not like multiverse stuff in the comic books. They thought it was bad. They thought it was dumb. And so so it didn't do well. And so then they try to take it into the cinematic universe. And it's just like, of course nobody's going to like it because they didn't like it when it happened in the comics. They're not going to like it when you do it in the movies. All right, let's get to Sam Raimi's movie. Let's do that. Let's get back into some horror and
I don't know. I'm not,
here.
so I don't want anybody thinking I'm saying that Marvel is going to be amazing. All these movies are going to be amazing, because I don't know. I'm just saying a lot of people are really shitting on this movie, and it's really not that bad. Like, it really is not.
It's bad.
Like,
all right,
if you're wanting to see a big superhero movie, there's a ton of them that are way worse. Like Flash last year.
From Bloody Disgusting, Sam Raimi's horror returns. Send Help arrives in theaters January next year. Director Sam Raimi.
I forgot there is another new thing too. After you get to this, I just found out.
Okay, director Sam Raimi heads back into the horror genre with his next movie, Send Help, and we've learned today that 20th Century Studios is bringing the film to theaters in 2026. Send Help is scheduled for theatrical release January 30th. Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien, and Dennis Haysbert, and Chris Pang are also confirmed. From Deadline, it says the film is a survival horror thriller about two colleagues, O'Brien and McAdams, who become stranded on a deserted island, the only survivors of a plane crash. Sounds familiar. On the island, they must overcome past grievances and work together to survive, but ultimately it's a battle of wills and wits to make it out alive. Interesting. Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, Freddy vs. Jason and Friday the 13th, 2009, wrote the screenplay. Ooh, that makes me excited.
Mm-hmm.
Raimi will produce alongside Zainab Azizi under Raimi Productions and a bunch of other crap. Those two writers writing this movie, that gives me some hope.
Yep.
Because
especially with Raimi, who we know likes to have a little bit of a campy good time with his horror.
I really like, so Friday the 13th, 2009 is probably my favorite Friday the 13th after like the originals, 1, 2, and 3. I think it's one of the best.
I like it better than those. Honestly,
the argument can be made.
As far as a movie, it's the best of all of them. Like, I love them for different reasons, but like as far as actual movie, like, dude, they're all so badly written. Like, there's no real movie. It's just Jason going around killing people.
Yeah.
With 2009, it's actually a movie. It actually has characters.
There's
and
a little bit of
to it.
there's a little bit of characterization, a little bit of story there. Yeah, but so that makes me excited, and that's going to be a good January movie. Especially dropping it at the end of January. I think that's going to be good. That's going to be a good
decent January releases now, especially for horror.
Yeah, we've had some.
I thought Companion was you haven't seen Companion yet, but I think
it's
really good.
I know.
I think it's better than Megan, and Megan was a January release, and one that everybody points at as like, my favorite January release though of the last like probably 10 years is Underwater in 2020. But like, that movie unfortunately kind of got forgotten because of the whole pandemic. That movie just kind of, which is a bummer, because I still think that Underwater is like one of the coolest Lovecraftian type of horror movies we've had in a minute. Oh, the other news. The Philippou brothers, they just released the name and the poster for their new upcoming movie. The guys that did Talk to Me. It should be on Bloody Disgusting. It just came out before we started, and I forgot.
I'm not seeing it on Bloody Disgusting. I'm seeing Beyond the Wall of Sleep.
I retweeted it. Hold on, let me bring up the poster. Bring Her Back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when you can share it, go ahead and share it. Wolfbane says, Hard Eyes, goddammit, never mind the MCU. I dig the superhero stuff. Horror. Yeah. Clever Cleaver. Sorry, I forgot to read this. Humping torso toys and mundane Marvel movies. That's what Death Rattle Podcast does. Yeah, we talk about whatever we want. So,
DJ, just look up Bring Her Back.
Bring Her Back. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
it may not be on Bloody Disgusting. I don't know.
Okay. Wikipedia.
It's coming out this year, May 30th.
I can bring up the IMDb. Heather says, "Ooh, Sam Raimi between the writers and the cast, it should be good." No offense.
Generally like Raimi's
Jackets.
movies. There was like home runs, but Raimi's movies are usually always entertaining. Because like even his Doctor Strange, like it wasn't perfect, but I still enjoyed it. It was still entertaining, especially the Raimi elements of it, like that second half.
I don't want to watch the trailer. Bring Her Back from Danny and Michael.
I don't think there's a trailer. Yeah, there's not a trailer yet. I don't.
What is this?
No, that's an ad.
It's an ad. Oh, it's an ad. Wait, no, it's from Danny and Michael Philippou. This is a trailer.
Shit. I don't think it's a trailer. I think it's a teaser.
Or a teaser, whatever. Well, it says trailer. This is IMDb.
How long is it?
Minute
they
5.
Must drop this. Wow. Okay, so they dropped this after, because I retweeted the tweet with the poster.
A brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual at a secluded home with their new foster mother. That sounds cool.
Dude, I don't think that I'll be surprised if this isn't a good movie. Like, I think the Philippou brothers are one of those rare, like, first-time filmmakers that I think are gonna like be out the gate making good movies after, banger after banger. And it's because they have like 10 years of making shorts, short movies on their YouTube channel. So it's not like
first feature.
No, Talk to Me was their first feature.
Right. That's what that's what I thought.
But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like this is going to be good as well, because it's not like I feel like they're seasoned vets, even though they're not, you know what I mean? Even everybody is treating them like, oh, this is their sophomore movie. It's like, yeah, but these are guys that are making movies like their whole lives.
Yeah, but listen, I've made plenty of short films. I know people that make careers out of making short films. Making a feature is completely different than making a short. It's completely different. The process is similar.
If they had, but they've already made one that was really good. So it's not like if they hadn't made a full length, then I would be like, I'm not sure. But they've proven that with like very little budget, like they were able to pull it off already and do a really good movie that won a bunch of awards and all this stuff. So I'm just saying, I'll be surprised if they don't make another really good movie. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not possible, but like we've had other good people that their first movie was great, and then their follow-up was just kind of not that great. And I think a lot of times is, they don't have a ton of experience. The other thing was with the Philippou brothers, the one guy is like the more director minded. They're twins, but the one guy is more director minded and the other one is the writer. And so it's like you have these two different skill sets, but they work because they're twins. They work like seamlessly together. So
Abby's got a problem with us praising Friday the 13th, 2009. She says, what? Friday the 13th, 2009, good? This is what you guys talk about when you say doing a reboot or remake. Jason was never smart enough to set traps and do the things he did in 2009.
Because it's a remake. It's not a sequel.
Yeah, that's kind of the way
that's part of what makes it a better Friday the 13th.
That's the way
Jason is scarier and more intimidating in a lot of ways in that movie. And because he is able to like run, he's able to use traps, he's able to do these things,
And the characters are like better. just the victims.
But
Like,
I also don't get that logic. It's different with Michael Myers because Michael Myers has always been the same. Like every movie may be different around him, but Michael Myers is always Michael Myers. He doesn't talk, like, you know what I mean? He never changes. Jason is always changing. We're talking about a franchise that started out where Jason wasn't even the killer, then to a sack for a mask with one eye, then to a hockey mask. And some he's used the machete, others he's used pushing people downstairs in a wheelchair. Like, he's always changing. Every single Jason, he's different. I mean, we're talking about a franchise that made him a zombie, and then another one he goes to space and becomes like an android.
I thought I remember Jason X. I thought I remember in Jason X he set a trap or two, didn't he? I've only ever seen
that one's off the rails because he becomes a cyborg in that.
That one's
but the thing is, he just is always different, and he's always killing in different ways. So like, and on top of that, it didn't even say we're a sequel. This is straight up a reboot.
Yeah.
So, but even if it was a sequel, it doesn't even matter. Like, that's the thing. It's one of those things. Like, and I'm sounding like I'm dumping on the franchise, but I'm not. I love the franchise, but it's one of the things I love about the franchise. It's so kooky. I mean, in another one, it wasn't even Jason. It's the EMT ends up being the killer. And then in another one, it ends up being his heart and the dude running around in different bodies. So, like, how are you going to call out 2009? Like, that's what's hilarious to me. It's like, that's not Jason. Like, are you kidding me? Jason wasn't even Jason in 2 movies.
It's hard to argue with that. She says, sorry, I disagree. You could have called Jason Kevin Bacon and it would have been just like every other Friday the 13th ripoff.
Huh?
I don't know.
This is a franchise that literally Jason wasn't even actually Jason in 3 movies. The first one, then what is it? 5? Yeah, 5 where he's actually the EMT you find out at the end. And then is it what's the other one? 6? No, 4 and 5.
I don't
5
remember.
is the one where he's and the one either way, there's one where the guy, like Jason's spirit, is possessing different bodies. So, like, are you serious? Like, yeah, if you're only going to talk about Jason 2 and 3, if those were the only ones that are canon, those are the only ones that exist. You know, if you're trying to say that that's Jason and none of the other ones are, that's one thing. But if you just count, I mean, every Jason, every single Nightmare or Friday the 13th, Jason is totally different. I mean, he literally becomes a zombie. Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell. Thank you. I know, but what number is that?
I think
is
6.
It 6?
Yeah, I think that's 6.
Yeah, but like, it's just insanity. Like, that is what makes Jason fun.
Jason's a deadite.
Yeah, it's always different. It's just insane. Like, that's why the franchise is fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why that's the one where it makes no sense that we haven't had one since 2009.
Yeah.
I just you could do anything.
We haven't had an official one. But the
the fan made ones.
The fan made one is great. Well,
Never Hike Alone.
Never Hike Alone
1 and 2, and then Never Hike in the Snow.
Oh, that is. I think they do Jason right. You know, they make him.
He's actually scary.
But he's closer.
Right. But he's closer to 2009 because he can run. He's like he's more of a woodsman in a way. Like, he'd hunt you down. Like he more like, it seems like there's more going on upstairs. I'm spaced on his name, but I've talked to him a few times. The guy that makes those, because he's friends with Cecil from
Films. That's all I know.
I know, but
I know it's Womstown Films.
Forgetting his name. He's a really nice guy, though. Really nice guy.
Yeah, great. Loves the franchise. You can tell.
Yep.
You can tell.
And I wish that they would give him the reins and make an actual one.
Vincent DeSanti.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, I mean,
mostly the series is moving forward, so this hopefully next year we'll see new Jason.
We'll see. All right. What else you got to talk about? Because I think we got to get out of here. because we've run out of stuff, and I'm tired. What are you doing?
Yeah. See, in part 2, what? Hold on, click on that.
All right, okay.
In part, let's see. In part, there was 2 Jasons. They wore different masks. And in part what?
In part 8, she says she literally ignores that one.
Yeah. But there's so many of them you would have to ignore. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, if you have your own preference, that's fine. I mean, I do too. Like, I prefer, I think it's part 7. Which is the sleeping bag one? Is that 7?
No, that's X. That's Jason X.
No, they do it again.
They do? I thought they did an X.
Yeah,
I don't
know because they're on the holodeck. Jason X is on the holodeck, and so it's like not even real.
Oh, so that's the second time they did it? I don't know when the first time was then.
Yeah, I think they do.
I'm
that
not
again.
a Friday
I know
the
that
13th. I
no,
suck.
it's one of the most famous of the kills, and I think it's in 7. I think because 7 is the one. Oh man, it's so there's so many of them. It's so hard to keep track. It's why I do prefer.
There's chat saying
sequels,
7.
Yeah, I do prefer when sequels have names rather than numbers because it is so easy to get them all mixed up.
What is our most anticipated?
But when they have individual names, it's like easier to remember. Okay, that name is attached with that movie. Because
Mr.
like
Halloween
Scream is having that. Scream is already starting to have that problem. We're only 6 in, and it's already like, which Scream was that?
Mr. Halloween's asking what our most anticipated horror movie coming out this year is. 28 years later.
I would say that one and Frankenstein.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Frankenstein.
Because Guillermo del Toro was born to make a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, and like, yeah, it's coming to Netflix, but it's going to get a theatrical run for a couple weeks prior. So it's like one of those that everybody will be able to see. And, like if they're going to put it in theaters, then I mean, of course it's Guillermo del Toro, so it's got a big budget behind it and stuff. And like, I spent the time to look up all the set photos and stuff. And like, man, it looks gorgeous. Like the sets they built for this movie. I mean, and the costume design, like everything is going to be very faithful to the period accurate. And like, it's going to be creepy as fuck. Like, I just think it's going to be really good.
Yeah. I think between that and, oh my God, I just had it up. Hang on.
But I think the one I have the most faith that it'll be good is 28 years later.
Yeah.
Like I have just basically no doubt that that's going to be a banger. A lot of it's because they're bringing everybody back. It's like everybody that mattered to making the first one is back. And I think
Fear Street Prom Queen. I'm hoping that doesn't suck because I like.
Yeah, but it's a totally different director.
I know.
And that's what makes me, because I liked the other ones. Like they weren't all 3.
Me too.
Like they weren't all 3 weren't like equally good. Like, but they were all fun and good in their own way. I think I like the third one the most, the period piece one. I felt like it was probably the creepiest of them. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun with 94 because it was like, that was when I was a teenager. So like when they were in the Hot Topic and the mall and all the glowing shit, I was just like, I remember I was
Diddy,
17.
why are you not looking forward to 28 years later?
Yeah.
How can you not look forward to that movie?
Yeah. I mean, the trailer, dude.
It's the best trailer that's come out.
Looking trailer in like, 10 years. Like
it has to be.
I can't even remember a trailer because there's certain things that you notice. Like when you watch enough movies, it's like you can tell from trailers. You know what I mean? There's certain things that you can tell without it having to do with story,
He said 28 days was good, but 28 weeks was a pile of poop. No.
I don't agree with that, but also 28 weeks was different people.
I think 28
weeks. That was a different writer, right?
I think it was good. I think so. I don't know. I forget. Yeah. I can pull it
and
up.
This is done by Boyle and like it's the same writer, same director that did the first movie are the ones that are doing this. And I think the second one was a different writer.
There was a few
same
writers.
Director,
Rowan Joff Rowan Joffe, Juan Carlos, Friends. Oh my God.
Oh, it's a
Friends
different director
Navilo,
too, wasn't it?
and Enrique Lopez Lavigne. And then,
Yeah.
the director, Juan Carlos. So Juan Carlos wrote and directed.
Yeah, because
and then,
what's his name produced produced the second one, but didn't direct it.
yeah.
I'm spacing on the names right now.
I don't know. I just closed it. But yeah, I thought
Danny
28
Boyle.
I thought 28 Weeks was good.
So did I. But I can understand someone that didn't like it as much. My only problem with Weeks was that it was a little too mean-spirited.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
And that was like, but that's part of the time too. It was like every horror movie, you had Hostel. Every movie was like just being mean for the sake of being mean and nasty. And it takes a lot of the fun out of horror movies. It's like not like it shouldn't be cruel or, I mean, cause like I love French Extreme and that stuff's cruel and mean as fuck, but there's like a point to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whereas there's some horror movies where it's like just mean for the sake of being mean. It was like my only issue with Terrifier 3 was the ending of it, where it was just like mean spirited. It was just like mean for the sake of being mean. Like you're just torturing Sienna for the point. Like, what's your point? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, but you could ask, why are you doing this for all 3 movies? And
no, I'm talking about the mean spirited part.
I know. I get it. Diddy says,
no, but there's humor. Like, for instance, in the second one, right? The scene where he's torturing her in the bed. It's super mean, but it's funny as hell because of the way it's done. Whereas the end of Terrifier 3, it doesn't have that same effect. It's mean. The director, Leone, even came out and said that he pulled back somewhat because it felt like it was being mean-spirited. And I feel like he didn't pull back enough. I feel like it could have maybe been pulled back even more because there's just not humor there. Like the stuff that's meant to be funny, like him walking by and smacking her in the head and stuff, it doesn't feel funny.
Yeah. Diddy thinks that I've always been of a belief that the UK can't make good horror.
Are you what?
That's not true.
That's a take.
That's certainly a take.
You ever heard of Hammer?
Yeah.
I mean, like some of the greatest horror movies, like classics ever made, are Hammer horror movies. I mean, yeah, I don't get that. There's so many good every year there, but the other thing is it's a style thing too, because just because it's made in the UK, there's so many different types of horror movies. Just like the United States, it's like saying United States makes one type of horror movie. Like we don't. There's so many different.
I think you're unplugged. You're unplugged. Citizen brought up Dog Soldiers as well. Diddy, you got to watch Dog Soldiers. That's a great UK movie. Yeah, you're unplugged from somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna read through your chats, guys, while Kanan figures out his mic. Trust me, bro. Bryce, sorry, says I love English horror. They seem to have a different vibe for some reason. Diddy says he's from the UK, just doesn't believe in the country's movies or actors. Yeah, I still can't hear you, man. Watch Kill List, Diddy. Eden Lake. Yeah, looks like you got more UK movies to watch, man. And definitely watch Hammer films. Like those are classic, and they have Christopher Lee in a lot of them. Christopher Lee plays Dracula in their Dracula movie. So definitely do that. Whoa,
can you hear me?
Yeah. Is that your headset mic?
Yeah.
It just seems like your shirt mic got unplugged somehow.
It did. My foot hit the cord.
Oh, so the cord. Okay.
All right.
Diddy says Hammer horror was too cheesy. All right, Diddy. Hey, you know what? Different strokes. You've seen all of it. You didn't like Dog Soldiers?
I know, Dog. That's what I mean by there's so many different styles. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you now.
Does it sound like it's still on this?
No, it's your mic. It's your Shure mic. You're back.
Okay, cool. That's why I think there's so many different styles. So it's like my guess is this, and it could be just your opinion, and that's fine. You're entitled to it. But my guess is that you've only seen certain types of British or not just British, but UK horror. And so you're under the impression of that because there's a lot of different styles, and it depends on the region too. Cause like there's British horror, like a lot of the British horror that's one way. And then there's stuff like from Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the one I'm always talking
such a
about.
variety of different.
The cow movie,
Isolation.
The Isolation. I love
Yep.
that one.
Yep. Another one is Hollow. And that one's from Ireland. Like, so good. Hollow is so much fun.
He prefers Japanese horror. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like some
Seija
Japanese
is very
horror.
Seija is very invested in this UK horror.
Yeah.
A Field in England is from the UK, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I can't pick a country period and say that I prefer their movies over anywhere else. Cause like there's South Korean horror movies that are fucking amazing. There's movies from Australia. Like I've been really enjoying a lot of the Australian horror movies I've seen over the last few years. You know, like it's to me, it's about the filmmaker, not really about the country. It's about the writers and the people involved that make the movie, not really the country.
Yes,
You know,
I would agree with that. Why
there's
is
been
Hammer
some South African making great stuff too. So
why Mr. Halloween says Hammer might be too dated for liking? Why? What is dated about Hammer films?
no, I get that. I mean, it is like I said, it is classic horror.
What?
Like
But
it's
what?
much more.
I don't.
There's a much more slower pace. Like my guess is, if you don't like a lot of the A24 like slow burn stuff, you might not like the Hammer stuff. It has more of that slower pace, like full of dread, kind of thing, you know. But it depends on the movie once again, because there's some Hammer that is, you know, so it just depends on. But I always think it's important to kind of like see a few things before you make an opinion on a whole thing.
Well, again, different strokes.
Yep.
All right. We gotta get out of here.
Yep.
I'm tired. I'm ready. And Cuzkin wants his dinner. He keeps jumping up.
I gotta eat my spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yep.
But thanks for hanging out,
Kanan
guys.
wants his dinner too.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for suffering through our Marvel talk. It'll probably happen again. But you know, it's our podcast. We do what we want. But thanks again, guys. Please join us next week right here, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Hold on. Look at this comment that CJ made. This is awesome. I can't not let that be seen.
Yeah. If you don't like Hammer films, you're bad at foreplay. All right. There you
I love that. That's a great way to end it. All right, guys.
Take it easy. See us next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and wherever it is in the world you are. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.